Hello and welcome to your weekly oracle reading for October 12th through the 18th. And we just came out of a lunar eclipse this past week, and I was definitely getting a lot along the lines of this theme of surrendering and so much about feeling the depths of your full being. Feeling the depths of every situation with total surrender, just opening your heart and just letting everything pour in, because we see it all and we can hold it all in our hearts as love. That's kind of the energy that I was getting, and the more we were able to do that, the more we were able to open up to this surrender. Is now this eclipse sort of brought a culmination of stuff that was going on back in April with the last eclipse season. So a lot of these changes and transformations that we were feeling back in April that we thought might have been happening over the summer, these things that we felt we really desired, that we really wanted, it's almost like they're just now starting to happen now, and it's definitely working out that way for me in my life. I just signed a lease for a new place, which is something that I'm working on definitely all summer, thinking it was going to happen a lot sooner than it did, but it just kept taking time, and it was just about surrendering and having total faith. And as it came up to eclipse season, there were a lot of synchronicities that kind of reminded me, just keep placing that faith in the universe. And so that's really what it was about. So we really just came out of this period of we might be noticing some of these changes taking place in our life now that came from a deep sense of surrender, and also just like a total letting go to the will of God, that this personality self, this thinking mind, this even just this individualized awareness doesn't have the infinite intelligence of God, of the creator, of source. And really learning how to co-create, not create as like a separate entity, but as a completely unified entity with the whole, with infinite intelligence that is so much beyond us. And so I think moving forward, we're really in this period of learning how to get deeper in that connection and embody that more. And so let's go ahead and get into the cards and see where this week's really going to take us. And I like to kind of do this where the first card corresponds with the beginning of the week, the middle card's kind of like midway, and then the last card will be the end of the week. Okay. Okay, so the first card I drew is the Dodecahedron. Now the dodecahedron is the platonic solid that is associated with the element of ether. And this card is a lot about divine thought, which is sort of what I was already kind of trying to get at when I was talking about this eclipse and how it brought us in a much deeper unified communion with an infinite intelligence. And it's going beyond the limits of even the individualized self. We begin to see how within our individualized self is the divine, is an impersonal intelligence that we are one and the same with. And while it's important to know ourselves and to know our boundaries, and so that this kind of force might flow through us in a more, I guess you could say, like an unobstructed way. It's also equally important to dissolve all these boundaries of any perceived distinctions and separations in order to receive the clearest divine insight and guidance for you in this moment. Spiritual New Age communities talks a lot about connecting with your I am presence and connecting through your higher self. And of course, this is your channel to source. Follow that stream through your soul all the way back to the source, but never forget that once you're at the source, that whole stream is almost as though it was a dream. If that makes any sense, because at the perspective of source, it's unity, it's infinity, it's all that is. And that is the source of wisdom that we gain. So at the beginning of this week, I'm just getting a sense of really connecting to unity. And since the card did show up in the reverse position, it's a call to action that we consciously choose to connect more to unity starting the beginning of this week. So let's go ahead and draw the second card. Okay, so we got the Rainbow DNA card, and anytime I see this card, my immediate, instant intuition is DNA activations, DNA upgrades. And this card is just basically exactly what it looks like. It's more like more and more of these like multifaceted aspects of our being are being switched on. And in the reverse position is it's just sort of a reminder to continue to see where those shifts are taking place, because in reverse it's kind of like it might not seem from the outside, from like an external perspective or the way the ego would judge it, that these changes are really taking place. But this card is a reminder to remember to see through that veil, to see through that cloudiness, to see through that feeling that there's some kind of gunkiness to the whole process. Like I was getting this feeling the other day well, yesterday actually, that my body needed to purge, that there was some kind of gunk, there was some kind of residue or something. But that's kind of just focusing on, like, it's like focusing on the external in a sense, because it's like believing that my own DNA doesn't have the ability to heal and evolve and to purify its surroundings because there's this gunk attached to it. And so instead of focusing on the beautiful, like, rainbow growing DNA that's changing and literally restructuring my body right now at this moment and filling it with more light, I'm sitting here focusing on, oh, there's this gunkiness. I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that plaque. I want to get it off of there. So the reverse card is just to, like, through the middle of the week especially, just remember that if you're feeling any of this sense of like a little bit of a purging through this sort of DNA upgrade, is like focus on the positive, focus on what it is bringing to you, focus on how it is healing you, focus on what it is doing positively, and see it happening in your life, see it radiating through your being, see it reflected to you through others, because you will see it immediately if you truly connect to it. And meditation is good to connect deeper into that sense of your DNA. Alright, and so let's go ahead and draw the last card. And we have the Freedom of Love, which is the same card that I drew for the eclipse reading last week. And this card is just simply about unconditional love, and it's a combination of the passion of fully feeling. It's just passion is really what I feel, and through feeling everything, there's this immense freedom. There's the ability to soar above anything that is heavy, above anything that is that would attach us to any sense of separation. Because in feeling it all, in feeling all aspects within your own heart as one, there's nothing that is attached. There's nothing that is clinging. It's just totally free. And so this week overall, I'm really getting a sense of, this is a very divine, very spiritual week actually, with the divine thought coming up, with the Dodecahedron, the DNA upgrades, and the overall embodiment of a much higher expression of universal love and freedom. So very positive week, and it's just, you know, anytime I do these readings, this is just the energies that are available, and you're always free to make your own choices, of course, and it's just meant to sort of act as a catalyst in however that may be for you. And of course, we all completely have our unique experience. But overall, big call to universal love, unity consciousness, connecting with infinite intelligence, you know, sort of moving beyond all this separation and allowing that unity to penetrate our very DNA and allow that to upgrade our cells and release that gunkiness, which is really the separation. Like, there is nothing separate. There is nothing that needs to be purified or cleansed away. That's what it is. That's just what's sort of really coming to me now, is like, just focus on the unity of it all, and that will purify and transmute everything into exactly what it needs to be. Alright guys, so I really hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you'll join me next week for another one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.